It would help if I unmute. Let's try this again. There we go. A few technical difficulties there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cut the Noise. My name is Kabi Asari, founder of Cut the Noise, where we focus on demystifying and uncomplicating this thing we call health through education. As you can see, I'm on the road. I'm not in my usual studio at home. So we're just trying to jerry rig a production here and just kind of still get online and hopefully bring some value. So ignore all the little distractions, technical stuff, and hopefully I can bring a little bit of value to the for you today and give you some stuff to take action on. So today I'm going to try out something a little new. I want to visit, the 10 principles that are ever evolving on my end, 10 principles on how to optimize vitality, right? Feeling really good, having high energy, living for as long as you still feel really good, right? Because I used to say longevity, but I think vitality makes a lot more sense in the sense that, if I don't feel great, if I'm in horrible shape, I don't know if I really want to be around. Maybe that's just me. But vitality, I want to feel great for as long as possible. And then performance and aesthetics as well. So 10 principles to focus on if you would like to optimize or get the most for in terms of your vitality, in terms of your performance, and in terms of aesthetics, how you look. And these 10 principles I've found everywhere that I've looked, every book that I've looked in, every all the different health pieces that I've looked, they keep popping up. So I've created this ever evolving list. And today we're going to talk about them. And I say ever evolving because as I learn, the list develops. And as I grow, the list develops. So what may be true today might be slightly tweaked as we get a lot deeper into it. So without further ado, let's get into it. The 10 principles to focus on if you want to optimize for vitality, performance, and aesthetics. And I think the number one thing that always comes up, and I'm going to try to go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see if this works. I've been trying to do this for a while. So let's see if this works. There we go. Right. And I don't know who Jimmy is, but that's the notepad that I'm using right now. And try to go through this with you guys. So here we are. Here we are. 10 principles. I think number one principle is breathing or breath, right? Number one is breath or breathing. And I also put into parentheses meditation because to me, those two are linked. But think about it. How long can you really go without breathing? Not very long. And the lungs are considered the second heart of the body in terms of pumping things through the body, moving lymph, moving all types of things that need to be moved so that nothing stays stagnant, right? Breath, we get, a lot of people don't realize this, but we actually get nutrients from breath, meaning things that the body needs for it to operate correctly, not necessarily macro nutrients like carbs, protein, and lipids and fats, right? That's not what I'm talking about when I say nutrients. But we do get things that the body needs to operate correctly by breathing correctly. It also helps us, keep our sympathetic and our parasympathetic system in check, right? This day and age, you can't read something without realizing that stress is probably the number one killer of us. Stress is the number one thing that we're dealing with consistently. So, you know, breath is extremely important. And then the last piece I'll point out about breath is that, breath, especially in meditation and breath, when you pair those two together in terms of paying attention to your breath, staying, it is the single greatest way to help us stay present, stay right where we are. And again, a lot of our issues that we see comes by individuals who are just not present. I'm just not. paying attention to exactly where I am. You're either in the past or you're in the future. You're either worried or you're scared, right? You have regret or you have worry about the future. So it's I think the breath up is the obvious number one piece here. And of course, some of these orders may change, but I think you have to start there in terms of principles. And one of the easiest things to do in terms of your breath, I give two things here. One is to just start paying attention to how you're breathing. Are you breathing with your entire body or are you just breathing with your upper chest? Right? We've all heard of diaphragmatic breathing. If that's something that we can practice to really improve the quality of your breath. And I like to say that, when you're breathing, the whole body does breathing. It's not just the lungs, right? But the entire body does breathing. And when you focus on that, I have found that that's helped me tremendously in improving my breath. So that's number one. Number two is sleep. You can't read a health book and get too far without getting sleep into the equation. That is where we go to reset. That is where the body goes to essentially upload and complete its upload and download process. I mean, sleep has steady after steady after steady after steady has shown to be incredibly important for preventing things and for allowing us to, again, achieve vitality, aesthetics, and performance. I don't think we need to go too deep into the research here. I think everybody knows that sleep is important. It's just a matter of like, how do you optimize it for you in your life? And I think one of the things to really think about is rhythm. We're rhythmic creatures. So it's not just, how much sleep you're getting, but how you're getting that sleep consistently. Are you going to bed around the same time, waking up around the same time? That matters. The rhythm to your sleep. Obviously, the quality of your sleep. Are you able to get into REM sleep, right? Deep sleep. Are you actually and to help with those two things, I think one of the things that research has shown recently helps quite a bit is our continued exposure to blue light is really detrimental, right? And obviously, again, stress. So something you can utilize is red light therapy, right? Or beta blockers or blue light blockers or glasses, etc. So that's another rage these days, but it's something to look into if you're really struggling with your sleep. And then you can go back to breath and meditation because a lot of people struggle with their sleep because they're stressed. Their parasympathetic and their sympathetic system are out of whack. It's out of harmony, right? So that's number two. And we could talk about that for a while, but again, we're covering all 10 here today. Number three is to hydrate. Hydrate. Our body is like, I forget the exact percentage, but 70, 75, 80%. I mean, our body is mostly water. It operates with water. A lot of things in the body require water, hydrolysis, breaking down of the things that we eat. All of that stuff functions. It requires water. So hydrating. And when I say hydrating, remember, I'm not saying drinking water necessarily, but hydrating, because not all water is created the same. And just because you're drinking a lot of water doesn't mean your body is actually receiving that water. So, a couple quick things that I've done that that's helped me tremendously is if you're struggling and you feel like you're drinking a lot of water, but you're not feeling like hydrated, is to maybe add some electrolytes to your water, maybe add a little bit of salt to your water. That can help tremendously. Now, coconut water, fresh coconut water, not necessarily the ones you buy at the store, that has a lot of electrolytes as well. That helps because that's really what we're looking for in our water, not just a ton of water just to drink it. I see you could be drinking a lot of water, but just peeing it out just as quickly as you take it in. So that's number three. Number four is sunlight. Some need more than others, but we all need some. That is for sure. And we need a lot more than we get. Now, if you live in a particularly cold environment where you're not getting a ton of sun, it's something to consider. Tons of research has been published on the importance of vitamin D for our mental health, our physical and emotional health as well. I think we cannot underestimate sun. Now, especially if you look like me, you need more sun, and it's something to consider. During the winter months, if you live in the East Coast, Northeast, for example, consider utilizing some vitamin D supplements to help with this. It can help tremendously with the mood. It can help with so many things. We are light beings. We're creatures of the sun. All right. Think about if the sun disappeared for a month or 2 months, we would not last very long. So, sun incredibly important. If you don't look like me and you are easily affected by the sun, maybe burnt, etc., consider that exposure to the sun in terms of gradual, like gradually building your way up, is important. So, just as you would with strength training, progressive overload is incredibly important so that you don't expose the body to too much too quickly. Allow it to develop over time. So that's something to consider about the sun. But I think that one is incredibly important. Number 5, and you might hear me say incredibly important quite a bit because all of these things are pretty important. Number 5 is eat, but not just eat, but eat close to the earth. Now, I'm not going to give specific advice in terms of, or suggestions in terms of, hey, you should eat this way, or hey, you should be a carnivore, you should be a vegan, you should be any of these things. The way I look at it, nutrition is a dynamic relationship between the mind, body, spirit complex and the environment. So as your environment shifts, your nutrition shifts. As the mind, body, spirit complex shifts and your needs shift, it also shifts. But there's a few principles to consider when it comes to eating that helps regardless of how that relationship is playing out. And I think a few things or questions to ask is it nutritious? Nutritious, right? Meaning, is it giving you what you actually need, the building material that it needs? When you eat, are you satisfied? Satisfied. I think that's one that has to be in the equation. Do you actually feel full? Do you feel satiated? Do you feel satisfied? Number 3 is is it helping you detox, right? At a cellular level, meaning helping you take out cellular waste. And then 4, is it helping you eliminate, right? Cellular waste. Waste. Pardon my writing here. And then finally, is it helping you repair cells? Is it helping you do those things? And if your food is doing all of those things, then you're in pretty good shape, right? So it's something for us to really, really, really look at. Like, don't be so dogmatic, or I would suggest, I'm not telling you what to do, I'll suggest not being so dogmatic about your nutrition, but considering these things. Is it nutritious? Does it satisfy you? Does it help you detox at a cellular level, detox cellular waste? Does it help you eliminate cellular waste? Does it help you repair the cells? Those are the things we want to look at, and that's what's going to help in terms of determining what decisions you need to make at that time. And the other thing we need to look at is, what are you having too much of, toxicity, and what do you maybe need more of? Where are you deficient? And that could influence and help with making decisions around nutrition as well. I think grounding, just as we need the sun, we need the earth, so staying grounded, grounding, right? Getting our feet to the ground. Ton of research has been done by this as well, looking at blood, looking at different cells in terms of how we respond to grounding, putting our feet to the earth, whether you go to the beach, whether you're on grass, and especially if there's some morning dew, whether you ground on rocks, etc. But really grounding and really harmonizes our body. And there's again a lot of research you can dive into on this, but could give you all the research, or could tell you that, hey, this is something that you put in just 10 minutes, just like meditation. Some 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day could make a huge difference in how you're feeling mentally, physically, emotionally, etc. So that's grounding. 7 is one we all know, which is movement. Movement. Again, the lung is the second heart, right? The lung is the second heart. So in terms of looking at movement, the lung is the second heart. So utilizing movement is incredibly important in the sense of use it or lose it is true, right? As we get older, we don't get stronger. As we get older, we don't become more agile. We lose these things over time. But as we keep using them, sharpening that sword, we continue to have that in our arsenal. So I think that's incredibly important. Get strong, stay strong, move as much as possible. That's number 7. Number 8 is I believe in using fasting or periods of abstaining from whatever it is. So many different things that we can fast. It may be certain types of food. It may be, I think it may be certain activities. It may be certain things we consume. This is incredibly important because it allows the body a period of time to essentially harmonize itself and to come back to balance, because too much of anything can be bad for us. Too much of anything can be toxic. Just like you should get all the right things in with number 5, 4, et cetera, et cetera. We also need to have periods of time where we abstain from certain things. So just as you have day, you have night. These things need to balance out. They need to balance out eventually. Number 9. And last thing with number 8 as well, it's a great way to activate autophagy. Cell to eat, auto to eat self, right? So to get rid of the cells that are not functioning correctly. Great way to do that. It's a great way to reset the gut. All of those things. Number 9 is community and love. We all need that. Incredible, a ton of research around that as well. And then I'll finish up here with number 10, which I believe is to evolve, or let me write that again, evolve and produce, right? So that's 10 principles right there. Let's go through it again really quickly. Breath, sleep, hydrate, sun, eat, grounding, movement, fast, community and love, and evolve. And I believe, as of now, because I still have the right to evolve and grow, but as of now, those things right there, 10 principles to help us evolve, be at our best, or in terms of vitality, performance, and aesthetics. Let me know what you think of these 10 principles. What would you add? What would you take away? What do you want to know more about? And that's it for me today in terms of Cut the Noise Show. Just diving in deep. This one's a little bit of a nerdy one, really diving in deep and looking at the 10 principles. I always mention them, right? But I never dive in deep to each one of them. And there's tons of research, tons of reasons behind each of them. I just wanted to pay attention to that specifically today. So thank you for joining me. And if you are watching this somewhere, you can find me on all platforms. I am Cut the Noise, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, obviously YouTube, etc. Feel free to join. And if you do need help going ahead and to elevate, right? This is something you want to take on. You need a plan, you need some coaching, you need some help in some way, shape, or form. Feel free to contact me on any one of these platforms. Be more than happy to get back to you and to provide anything that I can provide. Until next time, peace.